Most of it's probably mental. You don't like dark places that are wet and you're claustrophobic. You have a bunch of phobias and stuff. It's not going to be the place for you. Hi everyone, so we're back in Trout Lake, and this is part 2 of the tour of the Taranis Resources mine. So part of it's open pit, part of it's underground. So John's going to explain a bunch of the stuff that they're doing here and some of their exploration, and we've got quite a bit of stuff to see underground too. So we're going to tell you about how they're planning on mining this and some of the minerals and stuff pointed up. It's pretty interesting actually to hear how gold modern mines and stuff are set up. So we're just going for a tour around here. And then at the end, we got to go back up in the high country, up in behind Trout Lake, up into another mine called the Triune, and some other ones there, and grab some bat monitors that we left there last year. So we'll take you for a tour up into the back of Trout Lake after we say goodbye to John and Thomas. So thanks again. I really appreciated you guys at Taranis there hosting me and showing me around this beautiful area. And hopefully other mine owners will do the same and show us some of their operations. So let's have a look here, see what they got. I mean, the drone footage is pretty awesome, but look at this. It's just almost jaw-dropping. You look at the scenery here in this country above Trout Lake. I don't know, it just doesn't get any better than this. Isn't that beautiful? So here's that first adit we were looking at. We were flying up, and actually, it looked pretty cool. Kind of funny, they just stopped right there, eh? We're just getting into that. Really cool. Look at there's traces of silver in there. And they didn't go any further. It's weird. I don't know why they do that. Look at that rock. It's pretty neat. This is the other adit we came to check out, and it's a little wet. I just brought my shoes right along the creek, but obviously it doesn't go any further than this, so we don't need to hop in there. It's kind of a weird spot for an adit. You wouldn't expect to see much of anything here because there's no waste rock here. All right, we're here today with Thomas Gardner, and he's VP of Operations here at Thor. So he's invited me up here to have a look at their mine here. So this was a big kind of a bulk sample they're going to be testing here. It's low-grade stuff, and what are we looking at here?
This is a pretty nice piece of material from the True Fisher stockpile, which is open pit blasted in the early 1970s.
Yeah.
And we can see in here we've got some chalcopyrite. We've got some nice galena and possibly even tetrahedrite gray copper in there. This material can run upwards of 100 ounces per ton silver, high-grade lead. There's also copper here, and probably about a gram per ton gold.
Planning on doing a big bulk sample of all this material. You're setting up a mill, and you're gonna see what you got here, I guess, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
How are you finding the process with the permitting and stuff?
It's a lot of work. It's been a year and a half to try to permit the bulk sample.
So Taranis is a publicly traded company. You're trading on the TSX?
Yeah, the TSX Venture Exchange, and also in the United States on the OTC QB.
What's the symbol of Taranis?
In Canada it's TRO, and in the United States it's TNREF. So that's going to be mostly pyrite in that piece. It's a quartz sulfide breccia sort of material. That stuff definitely runs for gold, and we've sampled all of this material in the past to get a pretty good idea of what's in here, and what we can expect from the bulk sample. You can see there's a lot of this material just laying in here. This would have been low grade in the 1970s when this was all blasted out.
Yeah. So less, probably a half ounce per ton or something?
Half ounce, yeah, or less, probably.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, once it's already sitting on the surface, and that doesn't cost that much to grind it up and to process it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to be using a different process that hasn't ever been used in this area of BC before. It's dense media separation. Effectively what it does is you grind all this material up to 1.9 centimeters nominally in size, and you run it through a inline jig that essentially separates all the material of a greater specific gravity from the material that's lesser specific gravity. and you reject the lesser specific gravity material, which is mostly quartz and gangue material.
Yeah.
And most of the sulfide, like the pyrite, galena, tetrahedrite, also gold, is removed in a pre-concentrate from the site. So
Must be a challenge if you have a lot of quartz in here, because the quartz is so hard and it's difficult to crush up, and this other stuff's really soft. Yeah,
it's hard to crush. Yeah. In 2017, we ran a little pilot plant for primarily quartz zone, quartz and monometallic gold material, and it definitely takes a lot of work to crush it up in plates. It's hard on crusher plates and that kind of thing, but it's worth it. So we've actually done a lot of test work and sampling on the water that runs off of this stockpile, as well as on the material itself. And if you take a look at this piece here, this is pretty representative of what the stockpile looks like overall. And we know there's about 8,000 tons of material that's been left behind here from the 1970s operation. And essentially, since 1973, this material's been getting rained on and washed and over, and it erodes with time. And it does have an element of metal leaching and acid runoff.
So acid leaching is just basically the natural decomposition from the air and the water that's breaking the minerals down, and it raises the pH and stuff in the water that's running off of here, right?
That's right. And that's actually one way that people find massive sulfide deposits, because it occurs naturally.
There's an adit here that John wanted to go in, but
I don't know if it's going to work out for us.
We think we probably have to bring a snorkel to get into this one. I told him he just brings that dozer. Yeah, that's going to need a little work.
This is a very high-grade gold zone, and one of the things that we're excited about is the gold can be recovered using gravity methods. It doesn't require cyanide, mercury, or any of those materials.
Oh, there's some gold. Refine this process all the time and you worked with a hammer mill. Now you're going to switch over to a ball mill, eh?
That's right. A hammer mill is kind of a small thing. It needs the hammers replaced all the time. It is material to about this size, which is not really adequate for recovering the gold in the SIF zone here. And moving over to a ball mill is going to it's going to increase the size of the operation. I mean, it's a larger piece of equipment, but it's something that we want to develop and test with the 10,000 ton bulk sample. Yeah, so this is high-grade gold material from the SIF zone. You can see there's a little piece of gold in here. This is where sulfides used to sit, but have weathered out over time, and it leaves behind just little fingers of gold. And it's very easy to tell apart from pyrite because it shines even when there's no sun on it.
Yeah. Whereas
the pyrite only will really shine in the sun, and only on certain crystal faces.
So what mine are we looking at here, Thomas?
This is a Great Northern mine. This is a separate mine from the others on the Thor project. And it looks like this thing was just kind of dropped around 1914. My guess is a lot of these guys got draft notices. And
so these are the old carts that didn't have wheel bearings. I got one like that in my museum. Before wheel bearings were invented, they would just have a little hole in the side to drop a little bit of oil in there to lubricate them. Okay, we're up at Broadview. I'm not sure why they call that. I don't see no broads up here. Well, I guess it's because...
Not right now, anyway. So there's a ladder there that went down that way. That maybe connected up with something else from that lower adit.
Yeah, it might have went a ways down here. So there's an old miner's shack here, and here's a big pile of ore that was hand cobbled, obviously. And Thomas figures the reason for that is there's a lot of zinc in this stuff. Oh, they say that very heavy, man. So is this going to be part of your deposit or your sample?
Yep.
All right, right on.
Of course.
Yeah, you would think that'd be pretty cool, eh? Yeah, we found a little adit in here. So it goes in ways. This short up here, but yeah, well, pretty neat. Pretty cool in here. Wow. Pretty unstable stuff, eh?
Yeah.
It's really soft.
It's better back here. Showed up well.
Yeah, just don't touch anything. It'll stay up, hopefully. Like this, just kind of a shale that's really soft here. Nothing here at all. and very unstable. That's why you see everything's all shored up here. Looked like a pretty nice job shoring this up though. And then as soon as you get to the quartz, which is interesting, they stop.
There's an old gentleman who had a will, and he had a lot of money, and he would only will the money to his kids if they actually were in the Broadview mine. And so maybe this drift was put in as a little send-off to Pops or something before the kids got the inheritance. I don't know.
There are some professional miners that mine this, you know. Look at the craftsmanship there. Very nicely done split rails on the back, and nicely tapered too.
Oh, but these little veinlets can have gray copper tetrahedrite in them. It actually kind of looks like that too.
Yeah, this looks like it was mined, this material. This zone. So this is the Broadview adit, and this is one of the oldest ones here, I guess, eh?
Yeah, that's right, and one of the biggest. We figure it dates back to around 1900 and operated through the 1930s and 40s.
Yeah, that's all calcite, right? That's not quartz, is it?
It's quartz.
Oh, it is, okay. I have a hard time telling the difference sometimes.
Yeah, you can
oh
see
yeah, look how hard it
crystals.
is. Yeah, you can see the crystals in there. That's pretty neat. That's almost the same type of formation. I got those big crystals from another miner around here. Yeah, neat. And you know, quartz has gold in it lots of times. Not always. A little water in here. A little more than my boots. Little split cedar. Little rat nest in there. Lots of water running in here. There's the track. Pretty small ore cart in here. 18 gauge. What do we got up here? Some kind of a platform. That might have used for turning cars or something. Weird. Well, that doesn't go very far. We couldn't go that way anyhow because it's to the left. But there's a little bit of copper in here. See some staining in there? That's yeah.
Beautiful.
That's what the miners like to see, huh?
That'll be that nice peacock bloom.
If you're looking for copper or silver, and more quartz in here. Lots of quartz. This area's got a lot of quartz in it. Oh, it must go to higher levels, or at least there's a stope up there. Oh, she's blocked off now. All right. That's pretty solid too. They must have mined that stope out and blocked it off to keep anything from falling down there. Hey, well, look at the copper in here. There's silver and copper. Pretty nice. Some nice color in here, eh?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Malachite.
That's what you like to see. Look how dark the green is in here. It's cool. Oh yeah. It's just flaked on there.
Seeping.
So it's just in the water that's dripping down onto it.
Nice quartz.
Yeah, nice looking mine. The rock looks really hard. Pretty colorful. A lot of water seeping down through the formation. Yeah, we're not seeing those big stalagmites here. Pretty hard rock, eh?
Very hard.
Well, look how solid this adit is. I mean, look, nothing's fallen off here since it was closed down. I don't see any rubble on the floor, hardly at all. Well, there you go, a little bit there, but pretty hard stuff. Then, you know, there's got to be copper above that because the water is running through that formation and depositing the copper on the back. Oh, there's a couple of sacks. This is what they high-graded the ore in, eh? There may be some high-grade ore there, eh?
Oh.
Back in the old days, that's when they used to pack it out like that in sacks.
You seen that?
So there's some high-grade ore there, maybe. I think they probably need a new sack, though.
Yeah. Pretty trashed.
Yeah, they put that on a mule or something. There we go, eh? What do you think we're seeing there, Thomas?
Let's get them washed up here.
What are they sampling?
Let's see in there.
That's a big chunk. Fair-sized chunk canvas. There's more of a gray-looking stuff there.
It's actually not that exciting looking.
No. I'm sure they knew what they were doing. Mind you, they left them 2 sacks there, so.
Yeah.
The boss might have said, what did you take them 2 sacks for, dummy? Leave them there. Let's leave her right.
Yeah. Leave it right there.
Well, the timber's in nice shape, considering the age of it. Huh. Pretty wet in here, though. Huh. Very hard formation. That's why it's got all the cracks in it. That's why the water's migrating through it, because it's so hard.
Oh wow, look at that.
What are you seeing?
It's got like this peacock iridescence going on.
All right, yeah.
Maybe from the copper.
Oh, there we got a right hand branch. See the footwall here? Or that's the hanging wall, I guess, eh? The hanging wall. So there's definitely a drift here. Not going too far. Oh, this Broadview is a pretty neat looking mine. Oh, yeah. You're seeing that tapered timber though. You see some softer stuff in here. Yeah, it's all collapsed onto that too. Pretty soft material in there.
Muck.
Amazing how the timber doesn't rot after all those years sometimes, but you know, it's pretty cold in here, so it doesn't allow the bacteria to form to rot stuff. So just because it's damp doesn't mean it's going to rot quick. It also needs some heat for the bacteria to live. So that's where the vent lines would have been put on these hangers for the vent lines, eh? For the air vent. Yeah, pretty colorful in here. Every color of the rainbow here. Yeah. Huh. Wow. Lots of water. A cool shower in here today. There's the water pouring off there.
That's not a good sign.
What does it say? Oh, skull and crossbones. I only see one set of tracks going in, none coming out. No, I don't see no tracks in here. Well, that's a pretty small air vent. Stovepipe size. And there's the air line. Pressure line. Oh. Man, this is a pretty colorful mine. Pretty neat. I wonder what those big blocks were used for. We're probably 1,600 feet in, maybe. Fair ways. I don't know what that was for. Oh, railway spikes. Yeah. Might have been full of spikes, eh?
Good.
You say chevron? Oh, grease.
Yeah, chevron.
Yeah. For the track. Because back in them days, they just had solid axles for the cart, so when you went around the corner, the one axle had trouble further than the other, so they put lots of grease on the track so they could kind of skid them. Oh. Yeah. I wonder what that is. There are a couple of riveted pieces of metal. A bunch of little cans here too. Little tiny cans of some type. That looks neat, eh?
Tell you what those cans are. It's the Campbell's tomato soup we're seeing.
Yeah, they're small cans, eh? They're all kick. Yeah, I wonder what that is.
It's got rivets on it. Pretty rotted.
That's pretty dark in here. Well, it looks like we're going to run out of mine here pretty quick. There's an old explosive box. Wow. I mined way up in there. Polar. It's a Polar explosive box. Oh, got a year on it, 1936.
Really?
Yeah. It's right in the corner. Polar Foresight job. Not very many mines mined in the 30s because, you know, metal prices were so low, so it must have been pretty rich if they were still mining here in the Depression. Some neat formations up in there.
Nice copper.
Yeah. Pretty cool mine. We're probably a long ways underground now though, eh?
Yeah.
Pretty deep, I think. Oh, this is a pretty this is the Broadview. It's a pretty neat mine. Yeah. Oh, there's an old box. Cardboard box. Well, that's it for the Broadview. Nice of these guys for letting me come in here. Pretty cool. Not very often the mine owner says, yeah, go ahead, go in that mine, check it out.
Glad to have you.
So we had a great day here with our hosts, Taranis, with John and Thomas, and but we really like to thank them for showing me around this mine. So it's a pretty exciting project that they have here. So we're going to wish them all the best luck on this bulk sample, and hopefully this works out good. And maybe one day this will be the next big open pit mine in British Columbia here that'll make you guys all rich, eh? So it's kind of a little unusual to have mine owners say, come and have a look at our mine, but why not? I mean, you know, might as well share what you guys are doing, and maybe we'll find some other partners interested in joining you. Cool.
Yeah, it's always good for people to know what's going on and kind of how the mining works and where it all started and where it comes from. And appreciate.
And we find ourselves back up at the Triune mine where we had to go. You seen us there last year. The other thing we had to do up there at Trout Lake was pick up these 3 bat monitors that we put in place last year. So we're just going to show a little bit of how rough these roads are back in here. So, you know, you can hike up there, but with the side-by-side we got, it's pretty narrow, but you got to be pretty careful because straight up and down banks, and there's quite a few bears back in there. It's overgrown trails. So some of them are pretty rough, and, you know, it takes a pretty tough navigating through here. But as you can see, it'll just gorgeous views, but you got to watch the road pretty quick, so you don't really get too much an opportunity to see the scenery as you're driving through here. And but with the bigger machines, you'd have a lot of trouble getting in here. So it's nice that the smaller machine you can actually get through here without getting yourselves into too much trouble. Alright, so here we are again. We're up at the Triune. So we were here last year. The main reason we come up here is we had to pick up this bat monitor, right? So we come all the way up here. Not much snow this year, so we got less than half amount of snow last winter. So it's 5th of August and the snow is melting here. Just a beautiful place. I'll give you the link here right at the end of this video. If you want to have a look at the Triune, we went all through the mine last year. You can have a look at it. So we'll just give you a quick look around here, a little sneak peek. And go to that video if you want to see what the Triune's like. Beautiful place. Going up, you can get up with a quad. Well, I would say barely. Yeah, really tough slog up here, but you can hike up here too. Looking up there, that's where that tram station is right there. See that hillside there where it's a little bit chewed away? So there was a tram station there and it went down this valley. And I'm not really sure where it ended exactly, but the mine, it's a pretty tough scramble up to the mine too, so you can see these roads here, and yeah, we hiked up there, and you can see that cable up there, all the way up there. You can't see the adit from here, but you can see the cables, and that's where they mine, if you can believe it. A long ways up there, but yeah, check out that video from last year if you haven't seen it. It's pretty cool. We've had just a gorgeous couple days here at Taranis Resources, and you know, they showed us around. We got one more thing we can do here, so. Well, here's the situation. This is called the Morgan. As you can see, it's a little wet. So we got two options. We can either go in here and have a look at this or just go home. I know you guys are going to say, oh, you know, you should get a wetsuit, or it's only $10 for some chest waders or whatever. Those are about a 4 or 5 hour trip from here. So really, either going to go in or we're going to go home. So we're thinking we're going to go in. It's cold. That water's like freezing cold. But whatever. We're gonna go in. 3-4 feet of water maybe. Oh, yeah, she's deep. Oh well. So much for the rule about keeping your balls dry, huh? They're wet already. Oh wow, it doesn't seem to get any shallower either. I'd be lucky if I keep my tits dry at this rate. It's cold, but not too bad so far. Hope it'll start getting shallower quick. Haven't seen any signs of it. I got my oxygen monitor high enough so it's dry. It's cold, but I'm okay so far. Yeah, if we can quickly get there, we're starting going up already, I think. Maybe I just stepped on the compressor line. Yeah, it's cold.